Vagina.
My mind is a raging torrent, flooded with rivulets of thought, cascading into a waterfall of creative alternatives.
God darn it, Mr. Lamar. You use your tongue prettier than a $20 whore.
Do we have sound now? Do we have sound now? It looks like we do. It looks like we do. We back. We back. So, every time you travel, for fuck's sake, there is always something. So my laptop decided to just not recognize my mic anymore. It probably had something to do with me hooking up another soundboard in Egypt. And now it just doesn't want to connect to the old one. Good thing I brought a backup PC that I had to set up with a monitor real quick. Wasn't real quick. Thanks for waiting. Hail Meta PCs for providing me this travel PC. Yeah, I probably got to cut. You know what? I should probably just play it safe and turn that off. There we go. Probably should play it safe and just turn that off. Yes, I was watching a little bit of Back to the Future 3. Damn good movie, by the way. Damn good movie, by the way. So I'm in Arizona right now, in lovely Scottsdale, Arizona. And you want to know how based Arizona is? There's a picture of Barry Goldwater on the wall of my hotel room. That's right. That's right. You're not going to see that in many states. You're not going to see that in many states. So yeah, I'm here for the Quest for Ancient Civilizations conference. We got some horrible news today. Poor Randall Carlson is something happened. He went to the hospital. Not sure what. It was when he got back from the Azores. Not really sure, but prayers out to Randall Carlson right now, because he had a little bit of a health scare think he's okay now, but not okay to travel. Don't know what happened, but prayers to Randall Carlson. Prayers to Randall Carlson. All right. Who is Randall Carlson? Okay. Well, you know, that's a legit question. Randall is it's all the Randall you can handle. If you are into ancient civilizations, if you are into sacred geometry, he is your man. He will also punch multiple holes in the climate change bullshit more than anyone. Man's a genius. I highly recommend subscribing to his channel and going down the Randall rabbit hole. Randall is the fucking man. But yeah, if you haven't heard of him, check it out. His stuff will blow your mind. He's one of my personal heroes. I don't have a lot of heroes. He's one of them. He's one of them. So yeah, prayers up to Randall. Hi, everybody. Welcome to the show. This is just a last minute thing because we got some huge fucking news. And yeah, also RIP Hiroyuki Tagawa. Legend, by the way. I could never pronounce his name. Absolute legend. Rest in peace. Rest in peace. Man in the High Castle he was in. So we got some huge news. Which I will pull the article up in just a second. I'm going to vape. I don't give a shit. I'm not even supposed to do that in my hotel, but whatever. Netflix has won the bidding war for Warner Brothers. Bit of a surprise. I think a lot of people, including yours truly, thought Paramount would be able to get it done, especially with that Saudi money. But all Ted Sarandos had to do was shake the casting couch and, you know, drop a few billion out of that. And it looks like, so they paid the most money for the rights to have a exclusive negotiating deal. Now they have a certain amount of time, and we'll go over it in the article, to pay for Warner Brothers. There is a $5 billion, like, basically deposit. So it's a back out thing. If they pull out, and you always have to have a good pull out game, they would have to drop $5 billion for Warner Brothers. Now, what does this have to do with the Gunverse? Well, a lot. And CNN. I know a lot of people are going to be talking about the Gunverse, but I would just love to see CNN shut down. Because I don't think Netflix has any interest in broadcasting. Warner Brothers was going to split off anyway. Not sure what happens with that. Well, when we get to the article, we'll get there. But if CNN goes down in flames for this, then the world is healing. The world is healing. But yeah, now Warner Brothers could potentially own DC, Looney Tunes. They have distribution rights to The Lord of the Rings, the core of the story. They have the distribution rights to Harry Potter. They would own HBO, which means they would own basically distribution rights and creative rights with A Song of Ice and Fire and anything else HBO has done that they have distribution rights through. They own a lot of stuff. They are IP wise, they now can compete with Disney with original IP. Easily compete with Disney. The problem is, yeah, they own, so HBO Max would merge into Netflix. I mean, who knows? Will Netflix release movies in the theaters? I'm sure they will, but we'll get into that. I'm sure they will, but this is a loss for theaters. This is a loss for Hollywood. There will be many redundancies that will be reduced. There will be a lot of executives who lose their jobs. There'll be a lot of people who lose their jobs. You don't like lose a studio and it doesn't have an impact, especially when it's one of the OG studios of Hollywood. And, you know, MGM's gone, Fox is gone, and now Warner Brothers is gone. It's dead. It'll be a subsidiary, a little box for Netflix and Hollywood. I think today, once the sale is complete, Hollywood will officially be the side hustle of big tech. The side hustle of big tech. Something we've been warning about for quite some time. And you know what brought this on? Well, many, many things. But you can look right at those strikes. You could look right at those strikes. Now, is James Gunn gone? Well, I think his contract runs out in a couple of years, and well, he'll certainly get whatever is in production out now. I think it all depends on, of all things, Supergirl, don't you? And that's just off the top of my head, which means he's screwed. He's screwed, but I think he was on thin ice anyway. We can listen to all the gaslighting and bullshit and all the smoke that was blown up people's asses. But Superman I will not come out and say Superman's James Gunn was a flop. It was certainly an internal disappointment. They were expecting more money. They were expecting $800 million worldwide at the box office to $1 billion. And if anybody thinks otherwise, you're fooling yourselves. And I think it's fair and objective and logical to hold Warner Brothers to the same standards that we'd hold Disney or anybody else. You know, I'm not going to go soft on Warner Brothers because I'm like rooting for Zaslav versus Iger, because we saw a lot of that with the Disney, with the internal battle of Chapek versus Iger. There was no Chapek versus Bob Chapek versus Iger. Bob Chapek was a fall guy, was always set up to be a fall guy, and whatever sack he had, it was immediately cut off when he made the logical statement of maybe we want to stay out of politics, and then they put the rainbow colored rainbow flag gun to his head, and he had that hostage video. He was done right there. It's a new civil war raging, Rhino. No, it's not. Part of me, I get it though. I want to root for Zaslav too, because it's clear Hollywood hates him, and because Hollywood hates him, I'm like, okay, I want to root for the guy. But Black Snape happened under his watch, and that's an unforgivable fuck up. Unforgivable. Hottest franchise out there right now. Least damaged franchise, a franchise that is still healthier than Star Wars, healthier than Marvel, healthier than all of them, with the greatest potential to just print money, and you just bring on this fucking completely forced error. That's a political, ideological decision, and what was behind it, it's inexcusable, and it will always taint your show. A show that could have been the biggest show in the world, and nobody would have complained if they had just followed the diversity map that J.K. Rowling laid out in the books that pretty much matched 1990s UK. And I'm sure behind the scenes, it's like, well, and dude, this is how things go. This is how fucking insane it is in Hollywood. And this is why they can't succeed. There was probably some talks of, well, our cast is awfully white. We need to have a sacrifice to the diversity gods. We need to make a sacrifice to the diversity gods. And it can't just be Miss McGonagall or anybody else. It's got to be a major character. It's got to be Snape. It's got to be Snape. You know, it's the same logic that was behind the decision of turning of race swapping Death, the most iconic character from Sandman, more iconic than the main fucking character of the book, and they made it a black woman. And where's Sandman now, which was a property that was sought after for decades. And they finally make it, and it farts out after 2 seasons. Oh, and Sirius Black. There's a very, very good chance Sirius Black will be black. I would put good money on Sirius Black being black, considering he's black in the audiobook already. Voldemorticia. I wouldn't put anything past him. Sirius Black will be seriously black. You're right, chat. Seriously black. So no, I'm not going to like break out my pom-poms for Warner Brothers because they didn't make a, like, Superman wasn't woke. I know some people try to argue. Fucking listen. It's not like I've gone soft on calling out woke. But we see some horrendous comments once in a while, like that Stranger Things thing is fucking ridiculous. If there's things to pick out in Stranger Things that I'll talk about tonight that you could certainly call, I don't know about woke, but intersectional feminist. Pushing the message. There are certainly things in it. That scene is not it. Superman was just a mess. A hot mess. It felt like you were in the second act of a sequel and you didn't really get to see any resolution and you missed all the characterization. It seemed like they brought in a guy who was kind of had his wheelhouse, who was good at a certain thing and wasn't good at like a traditional hero. Isn't the kind of guy who celebrates 4th of July, probably thinks the American flag is fascist, probably thinks Superman is fascist, but like in Hollywood, somebody offers you a job, you got to take it, and you fake it till you make it. Well, we got our answer. Superman's James Gunn comes out, does about $600 million, goes to streaming in 30 days, hits HBO in pretty much the same amount of time. Despite them saying it's a success, you're witnessing this with your own fucking eyes. You're witnessing a movie getting ripped out of the theaters that was still making a little money. You witnessed all the James Gunn lies. And listen, respect for bullshitting your way through a job. We've all done it. We've all had to do it. But it didn't work, James. It didn't work. You weren't the right guy. And I think, many have brought this up. Just like with Kathleen Kennedy, she might have been a good producer. She might have been a good coffee fetcher, but she is an abysmal studio head. Same with James Gunn. Might be a good director with some trauma roots that really is successful in a certain wheelhouse, but obviously just kind of a one-note guy, and it gets really fucking old. Abysmal studio head so far. Absolutely abysmal. From the announcement of his lineup, which has changed, to going out and taking a shot at Marvel, which I'm all for, saying, well, we're not going to reshoot things and we're not going to do stuff until the script is finished, except for all the reshoots in Superman, the reshoots in Supergirl, the reshoots that are happening right now with Lantern. You start your universe with a fucking animated series that nobody watches, and Peacemaker is woke garbage. As woke as Ironheart, as woke as anything from D+. And there's so much support for Gunn. It's mind-boggling. It's mind-boggling. But we'll see. We'll see if he sticks around. I would imagine I would imagine they don't get rid of him right away. Why would you? You're in the middle of something right now. But here's the problem. Okay, say they fire James Gunn. Say they fucking fire him tomorrow, which they won't do. What the fuck do? You relaunch DC again? You go back to the Snyder do you think you're going to get Ben Affleck back? Do we really want Ezra Miller back as the Flash? I don't. Gal Gadot? Kal-El, no. I mean, we like to focus on the good stuff. Ben Affleck could have been a great Batman. Henry Cavill as Superman? Sure. Ray Fisher? We're going to bring Ray Fisher back? It's a saying in football. Ryan's out there. There's a saying in football. One of the most popular players is always the backup quarterback. So, I honestly don't know what they do. If James Gunn wants to take a back seat and they bring in a new creative team with this cast, with what he's already set up, and you just try to fix it, I think that's kind of the best way you can go. I think a hard reboot again is insanity. Absolute insanity. But Netflix doesn't want it. They have plenty of money. You never know. You never know. Let's get to this article, shall we? I'm on hotel internet, so we'll brave through this together. Go to Deadline. Oh, go away. Okay. Per Deadline, this is 8:03. I think it was Pacific time. Maybe I'm in Mountain time. I'm in the worst time zone. The Mountain time zone. The one nobody cares about. So it's like 10 to, I don't know, what time is it right now? Yep, 10 to midnight. Little late. Netflix wins bidding war for Warner Brothers Discovery. Will start exclusive deal talks. And again, I'm a little surprised about this, but you never. Netflix got a lot of fucking money. Netflix has emerged victorious with what appears to be the highest and so far the winning bid for the Warner Brothers Discovery. Deadline has learned and will start exclusive talks to finalize a deal. This caps a tumultuous day that saw Paramount move aggressively to counter the giant streamer and seal the deal for WBD. Netflix offered around $28 a share for WBD, according to the sources, mostly in cash. Cash is king, baby. It's been a fast-moving auction and one that will reshape the entertainment landscape dramatically. WBD put itself on the block in October to open up the process after receiving 3 consecutive offers from Paramount. Warner has hoped to get a deal in place by mid to late December. Then, of course, it has to pass government snuff. Netflix would acquire the Warner Brothers Studios and HBO Max streaming assets. Paramount's offer was for all of WBD. Bloomberg is reporting that Netflix offered a $5 billion breakup fee if the deal fails to close. Comcast also bid for the studio and streaming business. Paramount has argued that it was the only one of the 3 with a clear path to closing, insisting in a letter to WBD that the rival offers from Netflix and Comcast present serious issues that no regulator will be able to ignore. It believes Netflix, being a dominant streamer in the U.S. and globally, would face major antitrust hurdles, adding HBO Max to the fold. broadcasting would cause problems too. But if they don't want that part, David Ellison's company also called the sale process unfair and tilted towards Netflix because they had more cash. WBD countered that its board attends to its fiduciary obligations with the utmost care and that they are fully and robustly complied with them and will continue to do so. In a veiled attack on WBD CEO David Zaslav, Paramount claimed the sales process has been tainted by management conflicts, including certain members of management potentially personal interest in post-transaction roles and compensation as a result of the economic incentives embedded in recent amendments to employment arguments. Is this coming from Paramount? The Nepo baby? Zaslav wanted to line his pockets a little bit. It's Hollywood, baby. Paramount had offered Zaslav a role if the companies were to merge. Zaslav's compensation agreement was recently restructured to take into account the sale for WBD versus the formal separation of its business into two public companies that was originally planned. Zaslav would have become CEO of a slimmed down Warner Brothers with WBD's current CFO Gunnar Weidenfels, running a standalone linear television company called Discovery Global. It seems fair to say that a good deal of ill will was built up between the two camps. It's not clear what role Zaslav would play in a Warner Netflix merger. Well, if Zaslav was around, I would say James Gunn is safe for now. Warner Brothers Discovery shares are up nearly 6% at $26 in very late trading, a 52-week high, a year high, and nearly four times a low for the year of $7.50. Four times over the low of the year. The shares had been sluggish pretty much since Discovery acquired Warner Media in April of 2022, but perked up dramatically of late when it emerged as a takeover target. Wow, that's crazy. All three buyers were offering a significant premium to the stock price pre-merger. Boring stock shit. That's for the financial analysts. They were willing to pay for the elimination of a competitor, the acquisition of franchise control, and the synergy potential of integrating one of the most valuable content and IP libraries in the world into their platforms, wrote Bank of America analyst Jessica in a recent note. She called Warner Brothers Studio with IPs from Harry Potter to DC Comics to Game of Thrones a crown jewel. Wow. Man, she must earn her money as an analyst. Harry Potter, DC Comics, and Game of Thrones, pretty popular. That's why she makes the big bucks. Well done, Jessica. It's hard to overstate what a major pivot this deal would be for Netflix, which has made very few acquisitions in its history, preferring to grow organically. I have thoughts on that. While Netflix is the clear streaming leader in subscribers, it still lags other media behind other media companies in deep IP libraries that would offer potential use cases for theme parks, experiences, Broadway shows, gaming, and merchandising. While Netflix has long maintained the M&A was long maintained that the M&A was a distraction and the company could build its own franchises more efficiently than buying them, the landscape has shifted. Well, it has. The big franchises Netflix has been in charge of just recently. Stranger Things, it's a homegrown franchise. It's an entire series of nostalgia bait that I enjoy. Admittedly, that I enjoy, except for this first part of season 5, which now that I've watched twice, I like it even less. But they've had a hard time. They fucked up Witcher. Probably gonna fuck up One Piece. You know, took them almost 3 years to come out with the season 2. That's not exactly that's a cast that's supposed to be young as well. Yeah, they really have a hard time making a season 2. They really have a hard time producing consistent TV shows. But like they'll come out with a banger once in a while, that like Squid Game, but then Squid Game season 2, it's your Netflix season 2 curse. What they need is consistency, because what they're recognizing is that the churn is starting to affect them. Now, Netflix clearly won the streaming wars. Netflix generated more income on their own than the box office of Hollywood did last year, which is pretty impressive. But I don't know what the profits were. And let's just say there's a reason there's a meme called the Netflix adaptation. So anybody saying, hurrah, Netflix owns Batman, not so sure. But for the chaos factor, I've got my popcorn out. Acquiring DC Comics, Harry Potter, Hanna-Barbera, and other WBD library properties would provide Netflix with a deep set of well-known IP. Further, the acquisition would provide Netflix with physical production capacity and prestige that could help court talent at another level. Here's the bad news. Here's the very, 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 very bad news. Warner Physical Media, dead. It's dead. It's gone. We won't get it. What they haven't mentioned is Warner Brothers owns the distribution rights to Lord of the Rings. To Lord of the Rings, the core story of Lord of the Rings. And I'm sure that passes over. And I'm sure they'll remake it. As per WBD's original split plans, the Warner Brothers Studios and streaming business consists of Warner Brothers Television, Warner Brothers Motion Picture Group, DC Studios, HBO, and HBO Max, as well as their film and television libraries. Global networks or businesses that would likely not go to Netflix include entertainment, sports, and news television brands and channels globally, including CNN, TNT Sports, Discovery Networks, top free-to-air channels across Europe, and Discovery Plus streaming service, and the Bleacher Report. God, that's still around. Should a deal go through, Netflix would gain a global theatrical distribution apparatus, a massive library that includes titles from DC Studios, Turner Entertainment, HBO, New Line, and the MGM pre-May 1986 catalog. Exhibition and the film community in general has been fearful of Warner Brothers Netflix union. Netflix has reportedly said it will honor Warner Brothers theatrical commitments in the merger for now. But the company led by CEOs Ted Sarandos and Greg Peters has repeatedly emphasized over the years that its focus is squarely on serving its streaming subscribers. Netflix is known to favor a 17-day exclusive theatrical window. Is that all? Before movies arrive at home, while the number one circuit AMC has been lobbying for a 45-day window, which is still not long enough. The two sides have been so far apart that the Streamer Awards contenders this year, House of Dynamite, Wake Up Dead Man, Jay Kelly, and Frankenstein, did not receive any screens in the top 3 circuits. AMC, blah, blah, blah. To date, Netflix's only movie to number 1 was K-pop Demon Hunters. Sing along. Ryan was there. Singing along. During the last weekend of August, which made 19 million over 2 days. Jesus. So, this is like one of those times where we put the Hollywood in full panic mode. It is applicable. They are shitting their pants right now over this, and that's why I said, the Writers Guild was like, we're going to stop the Paramount merger. I'm like, no, that's the company you want to buy them. You don't want Netflix to buy them. Now, I've got no dog in this fight. If I had my preference, I would prefer to see Warner Brothers carry on as an independent company. Independent company, maybe shit canning CNN, but certainly just moving ahead as Warner Brothers. But they've also been America's dumbest company until Cracker Barrel showed up. But I mean, they were always America's dumbest company. They've had DC forever, fucking forever. They could have done a DCU in the 80s, and they never thought to do it because they never respected their own IP. They've never known what to do with Looney Tunes, which should be a gold mine, an absolute gold mine, but they've never known what to do with it. Zaslav, to his credit, when he got back, he made these controversial statements. Hey, we've got Harry Potter and Lord of the Rings and Game of Thrones. We should probably do more of those because they worked. And if you're going to go back to, just regurgitating stuff, at least try the shit that works. Too bad they pulled like the most DC of DC moves, which is poaching some Marvel talent too late to relaunch something for the, multiple times within a few years. And the timing is just off. The superhero movie is waning. Now we'll certainly get Spider-Man movies and Batman movies, but the B and C and D list characters for which Marvel beats DC when it comes to B and C list characters. They have more interesting. They have a deeper bench than DC. DC's got the big names, but DC's bench is filled with Saturn Girl, shit like that. It's the elongated man. Aquaman did make $1 billion. It was a different time. You know what you could blame Aquaman? Jeremy's going to be happy with this statement. You know what you could blame Aquaman? You can blame the Trump economy. Trump V1, his economy, best economy I've seen in my lifetime. Hell, from the Trump economy, California had a surplus. Gavin loves to take credit for it, but he had nothing to do with the surplus that California had that he burned through within a year. Trump economy, baby. Yeah, Aquaman, Captain Marvel made $1 billion. In 2019, there was $9 billion films, and I would say maybe 3 of them were actually good. This year, there will be possibly 3. It depends if Avatar hits $1 billion by the end of the year, which it could. It certainly could. Zootopia is going to hit $1 billion. The only thing I'm surprised about is Wicked for Good kind of is tailed off, but maybe the same crowd went and saw Zootopia. Not really sure. Avatar will hit $1 billion. For sure. For sure. But as far as the effects on James Gunn, I think I heard Ryan say this morning on Daily, and I completely agree. I think he was on thin ice already. I don't think announcing a Jimmy Olsen show with Gorilla Grodd is going to help him. I think even the suits are going to go, what the fuck? But I'm sure there's something in his contract where he can just pretty much do whatever he wants. He probably negotiated that knowing what happened to his buddy Zach. I doubt they're buddies, by the way. Zack Snyder is posting a lot of images from old movies, including from the Snyderverse. And he knows exactly what he's doing. He's mixing in other stuff too to give himself some plausible deniability. But let's be real. He's fucking trolling. And I'm here for it. I'm good. But before we get to let's bring back the Snyderverse, and I'm going to go, okay. You like your Henry Cavill, you like your Ben Affleck, but Zack Snyder cast Ezra fucking Miller as Flash and liked it. Zack Snyder wants to make a lesbian action movie. I don't know if this is real or not. I can believe it. With Tig Notaro. Yeah, I know. I hate to break this to you, Jeremy. Snyder, not a genuine guy. Not an authentic guy. A Hollywood guy through and through. By so many people said, oh, he's such a nice guy to work with. But the first chance he had to steamroll and throw some people under the bus, he didn't hesitate to take it, did he? With his wife yakking in the background. Jesus Christ. So, yeah. I've seen Zack Snyder's complete creative vision when he doesn't have any studio interference. And it was, I can't really say it was shit because I had a hard time seeing it. Blurry slow motion shit called Army of the Dead and Rebel Moon. All 4 parts. But if they do bring him back, I will laugh. I will laugh. And laugh. No, Today Cobra is not affiliated with Zack Snyder. He is not. How surreal is that, Jeremy? When you look back on it, when you look back on your life, when we're in the old folks' home, and we're still making videos, we're shitting our fucking diapers, and Kathleen Kennedy was injected with adrenochrome, is that what it's called? And she's still alive and still running Lucasfilm, and we're like, any minute this bitch will be gone. But then we look back on our lives, and we go, fucking Zack Snyder came on a fucking charity stream, and the first thing he thought of was to disrespect the people raising $100,000 for him. What a piece of shit. And it's hilarious if you think it's like, what? Like Jeremy was like fucking stalking retail, because I don't know if you guys know this or not. Jeremy was a retail worker and I used to own a comic store. So Jeremy went from like stocking Pepsi and Dr. Pepper that he was probably fucking stealing half of it. No, Jeremy didn't steal. To getting fucking disrespected by a Hollywood fucking director on stream. It's awesome. It's great. It's great. I'm here for the chaos. It's, you know what? You know who's going to win, guys? Matt Reeves. Matt Reeves is going to win. Maybe DC goes to him. Maybe it just goes to him. Maybe they just silently stop making James Gunn movies and they'll make a Batman movie every 5 years with Matt Reeves. And then we'll actually probably get, like an age specific Dark Knight Returns. You never know. See, Jeremy, I never hated Man of Steel. There's things I hate in it to where we will agree on. But I've never hated the movie. And we can't get caught up in, we saw something worse, so that makes something better. No. Because there's a famous saying in modern Hollywood, it's things can always get worse. Things can always get worse. Except for the prequels, man. It's undeniable that the Disney trilogy propelled the prequels to where people actually see them as movies now. A lot of people are going, maybe I was a bit too harsh. And that's fine. You weren't, but that's fine. the thing with Man of Steel, and to Jeremy's credit, he's acknowledged this, but Man of Steel tried to be their own thing. Some of the things they picked, I wouldn't have necessarily done, but they tried to be their own thing and tried to not be Marvel. But the problem is DC always operates the studio and the comic book company. They always operate with fucking Marvel in their head. And they just never, it's like they have this like little brother complex, redheaded stepchild complex. And they forget that like, we're the G's. We fucking started this shit. Marvel ripped our shit off. And they're always scrambling and they're always behind. And that is a horrible way to run business. Anything innovative is having your competitor in your head all the fucking time. You ever seen the movie Amadeus? You just try to be different. You be DC. And if some of it is similar to Marvel, well, you're fucking comic books. Who cares? Who gives a shit? But hey, like they went into this new DCU with Marvel in their head. Like, we're not going to be like Marvel. We're not going to do things like that. Why don't you do things like DC? Why don't you not worry about Marvel and do your own thing? The big comic book hit, right? That's out there right now. That's it's an undeniable hit. Absolute Batman. Well, that's just ultimate fucking DC 20 years later. It's not anything really that groundbreaking. It's just ultimate DC, which DC tried to do before and failed, and they finally did it. Another Marvel thing. DC Meow. I haven't read it. It's DC Ultimates. That's all it is. What are you doing up so late, Jeremy? But this is like, I can't wait to talk about it with the boys and girls on FNT, but I had to chat about it. It's not a done deal yet, but I can't see anybody beating Netflix when it comes to just having fucking cash. I just can't, unless something fucks up in the process. And like, we'll see if the Trump administration approves this. They did approve Disney and Fox, which I was against. I'm still against. I think it was bad for creativity, for Hollywood. I actually liked Fox as a studio, and we're starting to feel their loss right now. Yeah, I'm actually here. I'm actually talking to you. I'm watching you sleep too. But I've rooted for James Gunn. I liked his movies. I wanted Superman to be a success, but say what you want about Snyder Bros. Gunn Bros have been twice as obnoxious in a shorter amount of time with fewer movies. They raced past the Snyder Bros, which I didn't think was possible, because the Snyder Bros were throwing out takes like Donner's Superman sucked. But you know who I heard that from recently? Gunn Bros. Yeah, it's hilarious. I'm a Donner bro. But yeah, I think Matt Reeves wins. What's the best DC thing that has come out since Snyder left? One could argue, well, the Joker. I think it's a little tarnished by its sequel now. I do. I'm going to say it's the Penguin. And it's not even close. Kindness is the new punk rock is Retard is the new retard. That's what it is. That's a stupid fucking saying. Kindness is the new punk rock. Yeah, because what we always think of with punk rock is kindness. It's only midnight for me. I'm in Arizona right now. Plus, I had a wonderful Japanese dinner with some folks. Gun bros are emotionally weak losers. Snyder bros are just dudes that talk a lot of shit. Good point. They talk a lot of shit. But Snyder bros can hold their own. Jeremy's right. They can stand tall and hold their own. They always have like a little wink and a smile to all the shit they're talking. Yeah, punk rock is a lot of things, but it ain't kindness and love, because it was a opposite reaction to the hippie movement. It was also a fashion movement. It was also largely created. It was created in the States before the UK. Stop it, UK. Just stop. Stop right now. Malcolm McLaren invented it as a fashion, but the attitude, the music, America, baby, started in America. Stooges, Ramones, New York Dolls. Come on. It goes further than that. There's no such thing as a gun bro. They're all sissies. We need to bring back sissies. Can we bring that back? I like the UK punk rock. I love a ton of UK punk rock. It's great. But we started it. Ryan Kinnell is trending. What did he do now? What did he do? Sissies and pansies. Hey, the Surf Punks, good band. My beach, my wave, go home. Am I meeting up with Razor? I'm going to shoot him a message. I am going to be going to, there's a comic store back in the early days of COVID when comic stores were struggling and I was just a little bitty channel. We did a couple of donation drives where we, tried to raise some money, and we picked a comic shop out of a hat that entered to give them some money that went to their rent. It wasn't like, again, I think each time it was a couple $1,000, which was a lot back then. And we gave it to some comic shops for their rent. That's what they used it for. And one of them is still around. One of them here, a local shop, is still around, and I want to go visit it. Let's see what their hours are. Yep, still around. They open up tomorrow at 11 a.m. Gotham City Comics, and they're it's one of a couple shops we helped with whatever we could, and you guys did. So what you did was you donated, and then I matched your donation, and then we sent them a check that went towards their rent. Atomic Comics is not around anymore. Great shop. Owner was pretty cool. I liked him. Had big dreams, and sometimes those stars that burn the brightest fizzle out. But he got his comic shop in a movie. Kick ass. And he used to have the comic book van that he would drive into Comic-Con. And yes, there was like a bookmobile. It was pretty cool. Guy was cool. Can't remember his name right now. Sorry, but I think Razor worked there. I think that's the shop that Razor worked in for a little while. I'll have to throw out some punk rock names. TSOL, who were in Decline of the Western Civilization Part 1. Suicidal Tendencies is one of my favorite all-time bands, and I just saw them open up for Danzig, and I am very happy to report, Grand Elf, they're based. So many, the true blue punk rockers are based. None of that commie collectivist shit. How do you go from anarchy to communism? Danzig is based. Suicidal had this whole thing about the jab at the show, and this was in Austin, so it was great, and people were cheering, so that's great. Good stuff. Good stuff. Yeah, I can't wait to talk to the guys. There's a lot of questions with this Netflix thing that, will eventually get answered. But if the dust settles and we get Netflix adaptations and a black lesbian Batman, but they get rid of CNN forever, to get rid of CNN forever, I just go, Batman had a good run. Oh, dude. MSNBC's like pawned off and going into obscurity, and CNN could do the same. All fucking mainstream media can just go to hell. No more CNN in airports. I was just in airports. Did they have TVs? I didn't notice any TVs. Where was I? I was in Austin. I didn't notice any. Oh, there was one in the lounge. I was in the bougie first class lounge getting my free snacks. Yeah, they were watching CNN in there. But yeah, Netflix buying Warner Brothers is like no win for Hollywood or for fandom or for DC fans. Not even close. Again, look what they did to The Witcher. Look what they did to The Witcher. Everybody. That's pretty much the internet. You'll think you're the first person who said something. You'll post that out. You're like, I'm the first motherfucker to say this thing. And 5 people already said it. That's why unsolicited advice for content creators. Hold back on the I called it on Twitter. The sun set in the west today. Called it. So much of that. Yeah, just don't. Just don't. Punk was an anti-establishment. Oh my God. Anti-establishmentarianism. It was raging at those that were narrow-minded. I'm only to keep their power. But at the heart of it, it was freedom. It was. It was freedom. It was individuality. But there certainly were collectivist bands like Crass, and there's a bunch of commie bands out there. A bunch. Yeah. Called it. See? Called it. I told you. Hashtag I was right. Oh. Anti-establishmentarianism. And see, I said it right the first time. I'm not going to do it again. I can hear it in my head. Okay, Tony? I can hear it in my head just fine. Oh, I've shaken the jet lag. I'm good. I'm good. I'm a little tired from 18-hour, an 18-hour drive that probably should have been a 14-hour drive, but we slept at a truck stop. It was great. It was great. Let's get to the soups. Early? I mean, maybe. Yeah, I did start this stream early, but it's only because the last one fucked up because my laptop wouldn't recognize my mic for some reason. But thank you, JC Hero of Canton, for $2. Anthony Shaddix for $5 says, do they still have tickets and rooms available? My printer took a dump. For this event? Yes, they do. They do. I think you can even roll up day of at the Embassy Suites in Scottsdale, Arizona. Scottsdale, Arizona. And I think it's William Henry and David Hatcher Childress talking tomorrow from Ancient Aliens. They'll be talking tomorrow. And I'll be kind of I don't know if it's MC is the right word. I'll be handling the live stream. So all the stuff in between speakers, I'll be chatting with you on HowTube. It'll be fun. Netflix buys WB. Looks like I picked the wrong week to quit sniffing glue. That's Hollywood right now. Although you could say, like, in quotes from Hollywood, Netflix buys WB. Looks like I picked the wrong week to quit sniffing children. Thomas, thank you for the $4.99. I appreciate it. Cheers. Does this mean not only we're getting Black Snape, but Harry Potter cross-dressing? Probably. Harriet Potter. New song about you and Drinker deleted the Acolyte. Oh, do you have a new song? Where is it? Yeah, because we're solely responsible for canceling a show because not enough people watched it. If I had that kind of power, fucking Doctor Who would be gone and still healthy. Star Trek. Oh, God. Jesus, yes. We have to look at that. Oh. Hang on. Oh, fuck off. Why do I have to sign in? I don't want to sign in. Getting the Twitter, just a moment. Let's go to Robert Meyer Burnett, who's been having a good old time. Yeah, so you can see on the right, that is the new Star Trek Academy poster. Looks a lot like the One Tree Hill poster. This is the state of our modern franchises. And keep in mind that this is the show that was given priority over Star Trek Legacy, which would have spun out of Picard Season 3 featuring Picard's kid. 7 of 9. It would have had a rotating cast of characters from Deep Space Nine and Voyager and Next Generation. It would have moved the series forward. And at the time, after Picard Season 3, I'm like, well, if we're going to get a new series, I guess I was kind of okay with not doing anything, but I certainly would have preferred it over the OC in space. Although I'm disrespecting the OC right now. This was pitched as a Harry Potter Star Trek. That's right. Star Trek Academy. And that looks gayer than Five Guys fucking Four Guys. This is the gayest Star Trek ever. And hell yeah, I'm going to cover it. This is going to be fucking terrible. And I think it's going to be it for Kurtzman Trek. Although David Ellison has not pulled the plug on it quite yet. And I think we have another series of Strange New Worlds, which is garbage too. But yes, this is a poster for a Star Trek show. And it really does kind of encapsulate Kurtzman Trek. I hate everything about this. Do you think Netflix has any interest in bringing back the Snyderverse? Because I don't trust Netflix with DC after what they did to The Witcher. I don't think it's possible. But I'm not going to say 100%. And I would certainly, I mean, just for the pure chaos of it, I would be all for it. All for it. But we will see. I think James Gunn is, if they keep Zaslav on, I think James Gunn is protected for a little while. And if they just take James Gunn's DCU and throw it on Netflix without releasing it theatrically, then it could stay. Because they just want content. So many options. We will discuss them all on FNT. We will discuss them all. Good question, though. You should do a top 10 worst list, and instead of calling it the Oscars, it would be called the Wankers. You never know. You never know. There might be a video coming at the end of the year. We could expect Nazguls in white robes and pointy hoods. Diego, yes, we can. Thank you for the 1,000 Martian pesos. What's going to happen to WB Games 2? Ooh. Didn't they already shit can that? Maybe I was thinking of something else. Maybe I was thinking of Amazon. That's still around. Who knows? Good question. Hey, Gary, I got your book. Sorry you had to go through all that. Proud of you for kicking ass like that. God bless. Well, thank you, Metal Man. Thanks for getting the book. Thank you for the $20. You know, I went through it and I survived. It is kind of strange putting it in a book and like putting a lifetime into little snippets, for lack of a better term, trying to like edit down your life. And when I saw it, like all those things happening right next to each other, I'm like, oh, that's fucking horrible. It's horrible. It was horrible going through it. But there were respites at times. But thank you. Realistically, do you think we will ever get truly good movies and shows again? Or will it be custom-made shows thanks to AI for us to escape DEI leftist crap? I don't know how you stop that. Like, once people get really good at making their own shows, that's all you're really going to need. We're still going to get some good stuff. You know, Pluribus is out there. Landman is out there. The thing is, we're not getting a lot of mediocre stuff. We're not getting a lot of middle of the road stuff. It's either like really good or mostly shit. And that has a lot to do with the loss of talent. That loss of talent was driven away in Hollywood. And they're just getting beaten by foreign markets right now as far as storytelling is concerned. But yes, we'll always have good shows and good movies. Will Hollywood be making them? That's the question. A girl could dream, Gary. A dude. Netflix, let's skip the Odyssey theatrical release. When are we getting that Odyssey trailer, by the way? All right. Sometime in the next week or so. That'll be interesting. Hear me out, says Billy D. Shilliams for $4.99. Hear me out. We get Kingdom Come as one final Snyderverse. We get Kingdom Come as one final Snyderverse. Then move on to something new. I'm okay with that. I think he would probably, I honestly think he would be a good director for The Dark Knight Returns. If they did a proper adaptation, he'd actually be a good director for that. That's his wheelhouse. Kingdom Come did a good job with Watchmen. Hail, Gary, just finished my work day. Thank God it's Friday. It is Friday. Thank God it's Friday. And thank God you finished your work day, Helen. Hope you had a good work day. Gary, welcome to Arizona. If you want to visit an awesome comic shop, check out Drawn to Comics in downtown Glendale. I'm doing a solo launch for my illustration book this Saturday, 12 to 5. It might overlap with your show, though. So cool. You're here. Yeah, I'm all day Saturday. I am working that show. But good luck. Good luck. Scarlett Johansson in talks for the Batman 2 Ivy. God, that seems so on the nose. Dark Zero. And she's a little old. But yeah, it was the first thing that hit my brain was Poison Ivy. DC animation is the GOAT. Neither the Gunverse or the Snyderverse lives up to the same level of quality as the cartoons because live action usually sucks. Joshua Henderson, it's a shame. They have such a great template with their animated shows and they just ignore it all the time, especially with Justice League Unlimited and Batman the Animated Series. Bradley Burleson, Netflix has to reboot the DC. They don't have a choice. I know it's insane to reboot again after such a short time, but the Gun DC universe is completely unworkable. It's hard for me to argue that. It just seems insane to reboot something again. If they're going to reboot it again, then it goes straight to streaming. They don't throw it in the theater. Have you CNN Code Geass? It's better than Death Note. Have I seen? No, and I haven't seen Death Note. A lot of people were trying to talk me into it yesterday, though, which is great. Dude, I was hoping Paramount would get WBD. I don't think Netflix will make it past regulatory issues, and it may be Paramount in the end. What do you think? Maybe. The regulatory issues, I mean, it's a big issue with streaming. But I think Netflix could make an argument. They're like, no, we're not, even if we swallow up HBO, it's like, there's still Disney Plus. There's still Amazon Prime. There's still Apple TV. I think it'll be tough, but I think on the other hand, with Paramount buying it with all the broadcast stuff, that creates its own set of problems too. But it might not pass the muster. Hail, Gary, listening to Iron Maiden Killer's album right now. Great album, 1981. They don't make music this good anymore. No, they don't. McGrunty for $5. Great album. Mr. Lame Dude 13 for $50. Part 1. Hey, Gary, longtime lurker, first-time chatter. On any channel, actually. This is completely off topic, but this is money with strings attached. Oh, I would love if you checked out C.S. Lewis's Space Trilogy books, audiobooks, whichever you prefer. I got to look for part 2. Whichever you prefer. For $20 more, part 2, you get a surprise. It's some good old science fiction with some of my favorites. It does have some Christian themes, but they're not too heavy-handed. Also, Lewis and Tolkien were best buds, so you might be interested and really appreciate y'all. I might already have those books. I don't mind Christian themes. They don't bother me. A lot of things don't bother me if it's written well. Yeah, but I don't get turned off by I don't get turned off by that stuff at all. Doesn't bother me in the least bit. As long as it's a good story. I hope Netflix eats the dust. Netflix is going to be around for a while. But they are going to stop, if they haven't already, stopped reporting subscribers and are focusing on profitability because churn is hitting them. And listen, there's only so many people in the world. You can only open up in so many markets, and you will reach the ceiling of possible subscribers. So now it becomes, how do we keep them here? And this is a move to keep them around. Remember, just a couple of months ago, Netflix wasn't interested at all. We're not interested in buying intellectual property. We're kind of like doing our own thing. It's almost like they lie all the fucking time. Elongated man. Oh, you mean Russian Badger. Russian Badger, yes. Thank you, Patriotic Cat, for $1.99. Dark Zero for $4.99. I'll never forget that Deathstroke solo movie they announced by Gareth Evans, the Raid director. I was so happy until it got canceled. Damn you, WB. Yeah, there was some stuff that I was actually interested in. Please help Mahler understand that the only way he'll ever get Buffy Angel done is having everyone over for 2 weeks and binging it. That might be the solution. That might be the solution. Read that one. Dude, you have got to look into Mario Build Reps. He covers orientations of ancient structures and how they correlate with ice ages and crustal displacement. Oh, I have to check that out. And it's Mario Build Reps. Okay, I'll check it out tonight. Gary, you're crapping in your diapers now. I mean, true. Thank you, Stymie, for $4.99. Will Netflix get rid of DVDs for WB movies? Yeah, the first thing Netflix will do is not make physical media. I think in rare instances they do. Frankenstein is going to get a 4K release, but that's because I'm sure Guillermo del Toro forced it. And they did Stranger Things, I think, season 1 and 2 in 4K. Did they do 2 in 4K, guys? I only got season 1. But they do not make physical media, which sucks and wouldn't affect their fucking streaming numbers at all. But that's the worst news of it all, out of it. Ezra Miller, Jesse Eisenberg, and Jared Leto were the worst versions of Joker, Lex Luthor, and Flash. Who the fuck wants those guys in the if the Snyderverse comes back? Not me. Also, I can't read your book when it arrives. Oh, thanks for ordering it, man. It should arrive soon. Batman Returns is a Christmas love story worthy of the Hallmark Channel. Sure. I watch Batman Returns around Christmas time all the time, but I can't definitively say that's a Christmas movie. I can't. Dang, dude, why you still up? Because we had some big news and I was up. Had to test out my equipment anyway. Good thing I did for Friday Night Tights tomorrow. Hey, Gary, only a couple hundred from 1,000 subs and have a nice little political show on Sunday nights after Forbidden Frontier. Little love. Brahma Bull. Go give Brahma Bull your sub. Couple of hundred away from 1,000. That's huge, dude. So check out Brahma Bull. If there's are any mods up right now? I don't know. I'm asking a lot of them. But if you are, could you please share his channel in the chat? I'm on a third shift at the hospital. Peace to you, Gary. Oh, Viking Beach Bum. Peace to you. Hopefully it's a quiet night. It's full moon, though. It's probably a little crazy there. Green Day is nice. Ha ha. Green Day sucks. Sorry, Decky. Thank you for the $20. I respect you. But I hate Green Day. I hate Green Day. Yep, Jeremy's not that smart, but he can wear a fake mullet. No, that was a real mullet, baby. So I went back and watched that stream, and holy shit. He does kind of look like he was like rocking that 80s Southern California jock look pretty well. Like surfer jock. Because we had surfer jocks. At my high school, when I did attend, the pecking order was surfers at the top, then the football players, and then it goes down from there. Surfers were at the top of the food chain. They got all the chicks. They were the cool ones. I definitely wasn't. Danzig, Twist of Cain. Great song. Check out the band Cerebral Palsy. I read that one. Thank God I don't have to say that word again. You'll never shake the jet lag, brothers. I shook it. Now I have driver lag. I marvel at the guys who do these conferences, the Hugh Newmans, Andrew Collins, Graham Hancocks, Randall Carlson. They fucking travel all the time. And I'm like, I don't know how you fucking do that. I was gassed after Egypt. And then we just did this drive, which I've done, 100 times. But yeah, I want to go home and spend my holidays at home. WDW Pro said it's going to be Paramount. It still might be, but not as of now. I mean, it all works out for like if Netflix has to back out, Warner Brothers gets $5 billion. And that might be chump change to Netflix, but it's really not. $5 billion is a lot of fucking money. So they must feel pretty good. We shall see. What happens to Zaslav if Paramount buys it? Well, it doesn't sound like they like him very much. We will see. I'm way more concerned with like what the creative output is, the numbers, and I don't care. Creatively, this is going to be horrible for Hollywood. Whoever buys it, like Paramount will be a better option for sure than Netflix for Hollywood, and I think for DC, because I have no hope that Netflix will make good DC films or shows. None. Hollywood can't leave well enough alone. They're like locusts. All faith to the good Emperor Henry Cavill, but the demons at Amazon are absolutely going to try to inject gay shit into his Warhammer projects. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see what the post Jennifer Salke era looks like very soon. Now, they've had some good stuff, but it's been like action stuff. There's genre stuff, not so much. Fallout will be out soon. We'll see how that goes. I'm from the UK. I'm sorry about my spelling. I'm dyslexic. Oh, don't apologize. You could spell something wrong and I wouldn't recognize it, to be honest with you. I'm functionally illiterate. How will all this WB stuff affect Dune? Ooh, that's a good question. Well, they were wrapping it up with Dune Part 3. So the only thing it might affect is that god-awful TV show. Maybe it gets canceled. But it's full steam ahead with the movie. So they have to honor stuff that's already in production. Sale or not, they have to honor it and see it through. And they'd be stupid not to, because they need stopgaps while the whatever, new brain trust comes in to run stuff. They still need the company to go. So anything that's going on right now, even Man of Tomorrow and James Gunn projects, they're full steam ahead. The company Netflix that brought you a downright disrespectful Death Note film now controls DC Comics. Buckle up, says Anime. Yep. I wasn't able to get there. Have a couple of good friends there at the show. Enjoy. Thank you. Sorry you couldn't make it, Donald. You could still see it on the live stream. There is a live stream available. I bought quite a few things from Atomic Comics while visiting my aunt at Christmas back in the day. Notably, Akira on VHS. Do you have the 4K version? So please make everyone on FNT say code. Is it Gaius? Is that how you say it? Hail FNT. You know, they always listen to me. They famously listen to me. But I would have to see it first before I started throwing out. When I make them, and I air quote, when I make them watch something, they'll occasionally listen to make me feel better. But I can't make any of those mofos do anything they don't want to do. That's why we love them. Kung Fu Hot Dog for £5 proper money. By the way, if Zack Snyder does return to the DCEU, he won't be the same Zack that we liked before. £5 for a strong coffee. Hell yeah. I'll need one tomorrow morning. Hail. Kurtzman is a talentless hack. There we can agree. There we can agree. He's a piece of shit. He's destroyed one of the greatest franchises out there and turned it into a goddamn soap opera. Look at this shit. I have nothing cool to say, but thanks for the hours of entertainment. Hail to the fellowship. That's cool. Thank you, Morrow. I just threw up in my mouth, says Helen. I'm sorry. Oh, because you're looking at this poster? Yeah, I did too, a little bit. OC punk rocker here, you lovely Gen X San Diego kid. Adolescence. I don't know what the Gittermouth. DI, Social Distortion. I recognize those. I probably recognize the other one, but I'm tired. Agent Orange, Doggy Style, Manic Hispanic, Cad Tramps, and Sublime were all old bros. Okay, so Doggy Style, the Toilet Bug. I've seen Doggy Style. So how many of these bands have I seen? I've seen The Adolescents. I've seen Social D more times than I can count. I've seen Agent Orange. I haven't seen Manic Hispanic. Sublime, didn't see them. Doggy Style I saw. So one of my favorite punk rock albums of all time is a picture disc, The Toilet Bug. Doggy Style. So it's the green picture disc where there's a bunch of people doing it doggy style around the whole album. Do it doggy style. Do it doggy style. Great band. What about the Descendants? Fan of the Descendants? All the established comic IPs need to go away. They've been completely played out, rehashed over the last century. Someone says they like Batman, Spider-Man, etc. That tells you nothing because they are a dozen versions of all of them. Love them, but let them rest. Hail. Book of Grudges for $100. You're right. If comics need to survive Book of Grudges, they need to move past superheroes. Razor Fist has made many videos about this. Of course, there's manga out there. And manga is what they've done largely is, well, they do a bunch of different things. Some of it's really fucking weird. But some of it's great. And a lot of it is just returning to traditional Western storytelling. But then there's the bande dessinée, the French comics, which aren't translated. And honestly, I don't think a lot they're people see them as highbrow, but they're not. The art is amazing, but in France, they'll read a cowboy comic. They'll read a sci-fi comic. They'll read a fantasy comic. And that's where American comics got stifled, was in branching out from superheroes, which they need to do. But go check out some French comics. The Elric Titan books are fucking awesome. Absolutely awesome. Starfleet poster belongs to Felicity of something. It's shit. Thank you, the John Beck, for $2. Lethal injection. Lethal injection. Lethaniel. Fucking A. $49.99. Not to change the subject, but last I heard you said you were enjoying The Devil's audiobook. Did you ever make it to first slot? Not yet. Stephen Pacey's voice work is out of control. Thank you for always keeping it real, buddy. Hail the fellowship. I haven't made it there, but maybe on my drive back because I got sidetracked with other audiobooks. But The Devil's is fucking awesome, dude. Good stuff. The best animated DC was Justice League from 2000, Justice League Unlimited. That was my fave. Do you think Starfleet Academy will be fun to watch and mock like The Acolyte? Yes. Oh, yes, Grand Elf. Oh, yes. I think that it's got great meme ability and unintentional hilarity. I think we will have a good time watching that one. I'm looking forward to the episode where the Kelvin girl, because she can't face her feelings for sleeping with a dude, she turns him into gray cubes. Well, you know, they like one of the girls has like superpowers. It's fucking stupid. Dutch Gradient for $5. Did you notice the only white guy in Star Trek Academy poster, who granted looks gay, is the only guy in the poster not being held by a girl because he's gay? The guy right here on the right, homeboy is gay. Take it to the bank. Gary, I emailed you a lore timeline for my sci-fi story. Thank you, Jake. We will check it out when I get home. Thank you for the $2. Not really sure what the point of the series is, to be honest. Surely the audience they think will watch this is the one audience not watching television. Nuts. I know. Brendan, this is how out of touch Hollywood is. So this is a bunch of Hollywood elites who were given a bunch of money because the reason Kurtzman got a bunch of money is because he was working on Hawaii Five-0 and he can get stuff done. That was it. They didn't care about Star Trek. They didn't care about any of this when they handed it to him. And it was previous ownership who hated Star Trek. I'm blanking on the guy's name now. I don't know why, but the guy who was running CBS at the time got Me Too'd out of there. Hated Star Trek. Didn't give a shit. So just put out content. Kurtzman was given a ton of money. Doesn't give a shit about the show. Has no knowledge of it. Doesn't even try. And yeah, it's just a bunch of, I don't know, fucking wine. I can't say wine moms. Wine ants and gay men trying to figure out what young people like these days and getting that knowledge from their assistants, which is also where they get their Star Trek knowledge, which is, I used to say YouTube clips, but it's probably TikTok clips now. But it's Star Trek made for people who don't like Star Trek, made by people who've never watched Star Trek. Plan to make a top 5 Marvel Phase 5 failures? Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur and your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man need to be on that list. I absolutely do plan to do that. That'll be early next year. So top 5s we have planned. Well, obviously we have the Hollywood Disasters at the end of the year. We have this one planned. I don't know if I want to tell the other one. One will be a surprise. Very controversial, but it's more of a positive one. So it'll be a top 5, like, good things. We'll say good things. And then I'm going to do later in the year for the 25th anniversary for Lord of the Rings, we're going to do a top 10 Peter Jackson Lord of the Rings thing as well. That's what's planned. That's our evergreen planning. There'll be some more too, but yeah, I wanted to get one of those out this year. I don't know if I can, but I'll try. One of those top 5s before the Hollywood Disasters one we wanted to get out this year. I could probably work on it this weekend. Hey, Gary, I sent you an email a while back about trying to build my physical collection. What Daredevil and Moon Knight runs should I buy? For Oh, for comics? Depends on what you can afford. But I would argue that if you want to get a Daredevil run, get the whole damn thing. At least all the way up to Brubaker. You can skip Mark Waid's, but Daredevil is one of the most consistent comics out there. Even the stuff prior to Frank Miller is good. Not going to say it's great, but it's good. Back in the John Romita days. Moon Knight, the Bill Sienkiewicz run, Mark Spector from the early 80s. There is a, God, he just wrote that movie, Been Caught Stealing. Hang on. A lot of modern Moon Knight is shit because they went to that multiple personality thing. Yeah, Charlie Houston. So, or Houston. David Finch and Charlie Houston did a mini series back in the mid 2000s. That's very good. It's very, very good. But get the Bill Sienkiewicz stuff. Catgirl 3000 for $5. Surprised that you're doing an evening live stream. My gosh, that Starfleet Academy poster is lame. It is fucking lame. Catgirl. Super Friend Man for $2.49. Tim Wall's crying because people are calling him Tardo. He is a fucking Tardo. Oh, and look, a Democratic politician is screwing over the people of his state. That's such a fucking shocker. And doing it by allowing Somalis to come in. Not exactly a civilized country whose economy is pretty much piracy. Yeah. I'm an African expert. Okay. I'm an African expert, as you know. And I just got back from Africa, from one of their more civilized countries. And I can tell you, if that's one of their more civilized countries, which was Egypt, we couldn't set foot in a place like Somalia and imagine I wouldn't even want the best of the best. No thanks. No thanks. Oh, that's mean. You know what's mean? Go there. Go there. You'll see what's mean. Skyrim, the shrimp for $10. Netflix would be making way more if it released DVD and Blu-rays. Yes. Streamers need to understand that a lot of movies made their money, but because of physical release, and I want Klaus on physical, it would not affect their streaming numbers whatsoever. As a matter of fact, most people would still stream the movie more than getting up and pulling out the Blu-ray, but a lot of people like to own it. They like to own a piece of the movie. It makes it feel more special. And if you remove that, which Netflix wants to do, it just makes it more disposable. Scarlett could play Phantasm. A buddy of mine said the same thing, and I would be way more into that than her playing Ivy. I think that's way more of an interesting choice. Don't you? But look, there's a casting decision where people are like kind of interested, and the Batman is not anywhere near being a great film. It's just not. But people are interested. Scarlett's hot. Go watch Last Samurai Standing. Good shit. Oh, I do need to watch that. You're right. Thank you, Dark Zero. Tim Dog, 1968, has been a member for 31 months. Just got home and happily UPS didn't add speed holes to my copy of Waiting for Nerdrotic. We'll read this weekend. Have fun at the conference. Hail. Thank you, man. And thanks for ordering the book. Hope you enjoy it. The last time Netflix adapted a DC property was Sandman. Yep. That sure as hell didn't work out. Race swapped Death and gender swapped Constantine. I think that's kind of enough said situation right there. Kritosis for 5 Canadian pesos. Season 2 of Fallout is going to be abysmal. They're going all in on ruining New Vegas. I did a 7-hour breakdown of season 1. I dread having to cover season 2. A lot of people said they weren't even going to bother, like Mahler. Good luck with that. Rewatched Unexpected Journey and think it's overhated. I agree, Jake Tamman. Unexpected Journey is pretty fucking good. But I like the Hobbit trilogy. Unapologetically. Warts and all, bloat and all. I love it. And the more I watch it, and I rewatch it a lot, Jake. I rewatch it a lot. The more endearing it gets, especially Unexpected Journey. First two are, if you, No Love Triangle and Goblin Town, it gets a little too CGI for me. But a lot of the other shit is great. Dude, that opening. Good morning. What's on your watch list this month? My watch list this month is Landman, Pluribus. Movie-wise, I got to watch Avatar to review it. Not exactly excited about it. Stranger Things, going to see it through. Can't think of anything else. Kind of a quiet December. I'm going to watch that Hugh Jackman, Neil Diamond movie because it looks pretty good. Going to be gaming. Going to be doing some gaming. I'll have some free time. Like next week or next month is when it gets busy. Starts getting busy and it doesn't stop. Next year's going to be busy. Donald Haga is a new member. Thank you very much. But Stranger Things, dude. Okay, after I watched it for a second time and I'll probably still do a review, but I was going to break it into pieces and I'll just do one review when it's over. The writing is abysmal. It's really abysmal. The dialogue is horrible. It's made for secondary viewing. There are characters I like. There's not enough of them. They're introducing new characters, which I know Holly's been around, but she's essentially a new character, and they spend way too much time on her to where they even backseat Max. And Robin is insufferable. An insufferable character. Went from a character I kind of like to insufferable. And I am a big fan of season 4. But as Mahler mentioned, if you go and watch the last episode of season 4 and then jump to the first episode of season 5, it is jarring how stupid it is. They cover the cracks up to the upside down with metal plates. Metal plates. Hey, Gary, I forgot to say I started watching my 4K Steelbook collection of Lord of the Rings, A Baptism of Fire. I keep the Blu-rays for the special features. You have to, because they don't have them. So I've custom made, they did that big box set with the books and it was missing the special features. And that was just Blu-ray. So I turned it into a quasi 4K with the Blu-ray special features box set. Made my own. Eurovision imploded over Israel being let in. They did. And it might have gotten Ncuti Gatwa in a little bit of trouble too. But they're okay with all the other countries, the ones with like slavery and shit. Can't believe DC is getting rebooted again. Joshua Henderson, once the dust settles, I'm going to ask you, are you really surprised? Are you really surprised? Welcome to Derry is terrible and woke as fuck. I've only seen one episode. We will see. I will see if I join you in that. French comics are lately bad like the rest of the West. Yeah. Heavy metal's back though, although it's more American being the impetus of it. There are way too many good India's comics that are made here. Soon Breakers, Mark Spears Monsters, Disney, I don't know what that is, Mouse Guard, and did nothing, says Donald. For $4.99. Didn't catch all of that. Sorry, Donald. Hollywood fiduciary responsibility is upside down. Rick Berman was hated for 20 years for making Star Trek frugal and profitable, and now execs pat themselves on the back for spending this much. You want to talk about somebody we treated too harshly? It was Rick Berman, and that was me. I was one of those guys, Brendan. I'm sorry, Rick. I've already publicly apologized to him multiple times. I haven't seen anything this gay since Brokeback Mountain. Talking about the Star Trek Academy thing. Thank you, Vlad. Wolverine Snick for $5. I only lived in Africa for 13 during lockdown, and Gary is right. Yeah, it's rough. December is for watching Stargate, and maybe it might be NPC or MP Cotter or NPC Otter. NPC Otter. Scott McKenzie for $4.99. Tom, Dick, and Harry, really? You choose her to come up with that? What does that say about the writers? There is so much off with the final season. Yeah, just so they can get a dick joke in from a lesbian where she can go, I'm not that in the dick. Oh, I didn't mean that. It's like, really? And that's Paramount gave the Duffer Brothers a shit ton of money and lost Taylor Sheridan. They are going to regret that. Temba, his arms wide, says Dark Schwartz. Temba, his arms wide. They're ruining New Vegas because Todd Howard is a man-child who can't stand the fact that the best Fallout game wasn't made by his own studio. It was fully developed by Obsidian in only 18 months. Does that mean Netflix will do a woke Lord of the Rings reboot? Benny, it means they could. It means they could. Because those distribution rights will follow Warner Brothers. And Warner Brothers, like Netflix will still have a Warner Brothers line. It's not like it'll be called a Netflix movie. They'll keep the WB brand around. For sure. They'll keep it around for sure. Is the DC no, it is not confirmed. It is not confirmed in any way. The sale's not even confirmed, Mr. Benton. I love that image, by the way. Right now, Netflix has an exclusive period of negotiation with Warner Brothers for which they can work out the deal. And then even if they work out a deal, it needs government approval. So still a lot of stuff left up in the air. Still a lot of stuff left up in the air. Do you think there's still a place for first-time filmmakers or independent video game creators? Independent video game creators, yes, there is a place for them that is growing. Independent filmmakers, that place will probably be YouTube. And honestly, they might find it like a fewer gatekeepers easier to deal with, and their film can be judged on its merits. It would be just as risky to make it on your own and put it on YouTube, where at least you have a chance of making a couple of bucks back. They are ruining New Vegas because the Captain Marvel writer who runs the series clearly thought Fallout New Vegas thought FNV had characters worth the damn. It's Bethesda's fault for making their games not interesting, says Brendan. Oh, that's right. Is there a Captain Marvel writer on it? I thought it was Lisa Joy. Yeah, who? Writers for Amazon Fallout. Geneva. Oh, yeah. Yep. Okay, so Jonathan Nolan and Lisa Joy were the executive producers. The showrunner is Geneva Robertson Dworet and Graham Wagner, the couple that made Captain Marvel. That's right. R.I.P. Fallout series. Okay, so I'm going to run, go to bed, and we'll do it all again tomorrow with the boys and girls, and we'll discuss the whole Warner Brothers thing. It will be crazy, but I figured why not go live and discuss this real quick with what we know. But there's so much we don't know, and it's not a done deal yet. It is not a done deal yet. I think it goes through though. Now, Paramount says they have a plan B. I am curious as to what that is. Jason Webster, the best series on Netflix in 2025 have been their K-dramas and Japanese series. As You Stood By, The Trauma Code, Last Samurai Standing, Glass Heart. I haven't seen any of those. Can't wait to see Last Samurai Standing. But I believe you. The best, well, they didn't put The Gentleman has been the best series of the last couple years, and I like season 1 of One Piece quite a bit. There's been a lot of shit. We should get The Gentleman season 2 next year. All right, guys, thanks for watching. Thanks for participating. God, Nerdrotic, if any of you were up, thank you for being here. We'll see you all on FNT tomorrow. And we will be discussing this in length, along with probably some more Stranger Things and other stuff. Hoping I'll be able to make you a YouTube comeback soon. Work has been changing and piling more and more and more on my plate, and I've been on a 9-month break. That's okay, Hayden. I know what your job is, so you got to focus on that. But shit, I think you got what it takes. So, get back to it when you can, but take care of business first. And thank you for gifting 10 Nerdrotic Live memberships. Hail, Hayden Wayne. Gary, the new DSP movie coming out tomorrow, Kino Casino Christmas. Oh, no, really? That'll be great. Hey, buddy. That'll be great. So thanks, everyone. If you want to tune into the live stream tomorrow, it's on HowTube. Forgot how much it was. But gives you the lifetime pass to all the conferences and stuff. There will be, I don't know how they're going to work this. Graham Hancock is going to be part of the stream. And he's supposed to be with Randall, but I don't know what's going on with that. But I know Graham Hancock will be part of the stream, and I'll be there too. But in the meantime, get to bed, people. I'm going to do the same, and we'll see you in a few hours. So thanks to the Nerdrotics. Thanks to everyone who left super chat and donation. Thanks to all the lurkers. Thanks to everyone who participated. I hope you all have a good night. Bye-bye.